Good afternoon, welcome back. It is Friday, June 23rd, 2023. We're getting into our final week of June with our events, birthdays, and so forth. Been kind of a fun little ride for all of us here as I go through and find some cards that I forgot I had, find some events that, forgot that had happened. And today's no different. Today's a little bit of a slower day for cards and events, because from 1971 to 1991, there were no cup races on this date. 71, Bobby Allison won at the Space City 300 at a small track around Houston. And then in 1991, we'll pick up there, Davey Allison won at Michigan. And the bigger event on, well, I don't want to say it's the bigger event, but because 20 years, no cup races on this date. It's a big spread. Davey dominated that day, and his cousin-in-law, Hut Strickland, finished a career-best second, which he would go on to later tie in 96 at the Southern 500. So kind of an emotional day for the Allison family as they run 1-2, because Bobby was the car owner for Hut Strickland. On this day in 2002, Ricky Rudd won at Sonoma for the final win of his Cup Series career, driving for Robert Yates. And he did take the lead in the last couple laps from, who was leading? Jerry Nadeau was leading, driving the Petty 44 car, and broke a rear end with a couple laps left. So, Ricky Rudd, right place, right time, last win. And then on this day in 2007, one of those asterisk wins, Eric Almirola gets his first career Busch Series win at Milwaukee in 2007 on this date. But he wasn't driving the car. Carl Edwards was driving, Denny Hamlin was driving the car. Because Carl and Denny were both racing both series full-time and so forth. But they couldn't get the helicopter landed for Denny. So Eric, who qualified the car, started the car, led the first several laps. But sponsor Rockwell Automation wanted Denny in the car because it was a race that Denny was contracted to drive. Denny didn't want to drive it, but, contracts are contracts, and Denny went on to win the race, even though Almirola qualified on the pole, led the first several laps. So Eric, I don't even think, was on Speedway property when the race was over. So be that as it may. So birthdays that we have today, kind of a sad one today, born on this day in 1935. He was critically injured in a qualifying race in Daytona in 1983 and passed away from his injuries after being in a vegetative state for nearly 4 years. Mr. Bruce Jacoby. Bruce was a journeyman driver in both NASCAR and the Champ Car IndyCar series. Run a few Indy 500s, run several NASCAR races over the years. And really, when he went to Daytona in 83, he was going to do some work with CBS. But like true racers, took his uniform and helmet and everything down in case a ride opened up. And one opened up, but sadly it did take his life. Born on this date in 1966, former Cup Series official. He may still be with the company, I don't know. But they don't talk a lot about many officials nowadays. But born on this date in 1966, Mr. Tim Earp. And you'll see if you read a little bit about him here that he took over the instant replay duties. ESPN always had a feature during their races called Track Facts. And I want to say 1989, the Trans-South 500, go back and watch that race. It's all over YouTube. That was their track fact. They talked about the photo finish camera and how it could advance frame by frame. I can't remember how many milliseconds or whatever it was set up for, but they did have that feature, and Tim Earp was there kind of showing them how to run the camera. So it was just a neat little feature ESPN used to do during the races, the track facts. It could be mechanical, it could be, some improvement within the industry, or in this case, with the media and officiating and so forth. So go back and find that on YouTube and check that one out. 1989 Trans-South 500. Another birthday born on this day in 1990. I believe he was a developmental driver for Joe Gibbs Racing, because he's got Toyota affiliation here. But Mr. Marc Davis. And I don't remember him having a lot of success in the Xfinity, Busch, Nationwide, whatever it was called. Oops, where'd it go? Where'd that card go? Right there. But there you see it, the 36 car Toyota. I can't remember if Marc was even part of the Drive for Diversity platform, because they've had so many drivers on that as well. And our final birthday, born on this date in 1986, former winner of the Daytona race in the Xfinity Series, but he's kind of hopped around. He's retired now, but he's hopped around here and there. Mr. Michael Annett. Of course, here is when he was driving for Tommy Baldwin in the Cup Series. And somehow his family was affiliated with Pilot and Flying J. He's driven for Richard Petty Motorsports, H. Scott Motorsports, and as recently Junior Motorsports. Like I said, he had the one win at Daytona. But outside of that, he didn't have a stellar career. He was pretty quiet. There's one of the JRM cars with some kind of special paint scheme. I don't feel bad for him because he seemed like a likable driver. He didn't cause a lot of commotion. Just, you know, he was there. He didn't tear up a lot of equipment. Always seemed to bring the cars home in one piece. Like every other driver, yes, he was involved in crashes, so that happens. But anyway, that is our birthdays for this Friday. That is our events for this Friday. So anyway, hope you guys have a great start of your weekend tomorrow. Remember, no fast packs during the weekend, so we'll have a video for you in the morning and our birthdays and events in the afternoon. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you later.